On our today's channel, I'm going to explain how we are going to describe all these important issues in general. So, if you want to have any more general concept about transformation, just you can look different concept about that we have already seen in our previous videos. So today, especially or particularly about this question, I'm going to explain a general concept of this one. For example, look the first point. Given the function f of x, that is 2 minus 3 sine of 4x plus 90 degree, then how we are going to describe the amplitude, phase shift or horizontal translation, a phase angle, vertical translation, the period, and generally the stretching factors in general. Is that? So, if you remember, in our previous videos, I have already explained generally how we are going to describe the transformation of any transformation in general mean. So look, now here, what's that amplitude mean? Now, from this question, simply you can easily see which is an amplitude in general mean. An amplitude is always a positive real value that will be simply the coefficient of sine of 4x plus 90. So amplitude for this problem is going to be this one. That's going to be absolute value of negative 3, which is going to be that's 3. This is what an amplitude in general is that. So generally, whatever the problem it may be, whenever you are asked to find the amplitude of any mathematical function that's written in the form of, for example, a cosine of x, or it may be sine of x. So amplitude of this problem is going to be absolute value of a. That? So this is what an amplitude in general mean. So amplitude for this problem is simply now the absolute value of the coefficient of the trigonometric function sine of this one. And when you come to the second problem, what is phase shift mean? How we are going to determine the phase shift or a horizontal translation. A horizontal translation means if you know that the graph of a sine function is very simple. As you know, now in order to sketch, whenever we sketched already the graph of the sine function, now this is obtained from the graph of the sine function just combining different techniques of transformation. Is that? So the graph of this problem is directly obtained from the graph of sine x, but the graph of sine x is shifted in different direction and with the help of these transformation concepts. So when you come to in the case of this one, look what is phase shift or a horizontal translation mean. A horizontal translation from this problem is easily determined, as you see, directly from the zero of that problem. So let me describe how this is obtained. So a phase shift is immediately, or a horizontal translation is simply you have to find the zero of this one. So what makes this zero in general is that, so 4x plus 90 degree, which is gonna be, that is 0. You have to make like this one, and that is going to be 4x, which is negative 90 degree. Is that? And this is perfectly equal to what? And this is perfectly equal to, now this is exactly what? X will be negative 90 degree over 4, and which is approximately, or not approximately, that's going to be what? 22.5 degree will be a vertical translation, I mean a horizontal translation of this problem. And hence now the horizontal translation vector or the phase shift is going to be 22.5 degree will be the phase shift, or else we can put this problem in the form of this one. I think this is negative, is that? So this is negative 22.5, which is given by negative 22.5. Now from here you can just immediately say now the vector is going to be, the horizontal translation vector is going to be given by negative 22.5 degree to 0. This is our horizontal translation that gives or that just translates the given problem. Is that? So this is the way how we are going to determine. When you come to the phase angle or the vertical translation, in order to determine the phase angle or the vertical translation, simply you have to look what kind of value is already added on the trigonometric function of this one in general. So the value that's already added on here is 2. So simply the vertical translation is very simple. That is directly the phase angle or the vertical translation is given by vertical translation, or phase angle is going to be phase angle, or vertical translation is simply 0, 2. Is that? So we have to find the value that's already added or subtracted on the basic trigonometric function. Is that? So that's simply now the phase angle or the vertical translation will be 0, 2. Finally, when you come to in the case of the period mean on which interval that the graph of this problem will repeat its value. So period of this problem is given by p, which is given by 2 pi over, that is the coefficient of x here. Is that? So that is 4, which is going to be pi over 2 will be the period of this problem. Is that? So this is how we are going to determine period of this function. When you come to the last point, that is a stretching factor, there are different stretching factors of this problem. Is that? So how we are going to determine the stretching factors of the graph of this one. First, you have to know how this stretching factor is really important to transform one trigonometric function into another one. Therefore, there are 2 stretching factors of this one. One stretching factor is going to be the coefficient of x, and the other stretching factor is going to be the coefficient of sine of that problem. Is that? So these are the stretching factors of the given problem. For example, now the stretching factor means that we can stretch the graph of this problem either parallel to the y-axis or parallel to the x-axis. So the graph of this problem will be obtained from the graph of the basic trigonometric function sine. Now stretching that graph parallel to the y-axis with a scale factor of that is negative 3. Is that? Our scale factor is going to be negative 3. This is parallel to the y-axis. When we are now, the graph of this problem is obtained from the graph of sine x by stretching the graph of sine function parallel to the y-axis with stretching factor of negative 3. And the other way, mean now the graph of this problem is obtained from the graph of the sine function, the sine function, stretching the graph of that problem parallel to the x-axis with a scale factor of 1 over 4. Is that? 1 over 4. Because the coefficient for x is 4, so the reciprocal of that will be the stretching factor of the given problem when we are stretching this problem into when we are just obtaining this form, the basic sine function in general. So this is the main point that you have to remember how we are going to determine all this important point from the given trigonometric function. So today, now this is enough how we are going to describe this one. Next time we're going to meet with another lesson. Take for today. Bye bye. Have a nice time. See you.